Hello, my name is Michelle Manning and I'm a math teacher at a high school, and today I want to show you how to use Data Studio to take your attendance form submissions and make them easier to read, easier to filter, and easier to transfer over into your official attendance program. So this is my form for my students to fill out. It is super basic. It collects their email address automatically. It will put a timestamp on when they submitted, and also they will check whether they're present for class or not, and then they hit submit. And this is my fake data that I am going to use to show you how to build a Data Studio dashboard. So this is completely fake. You can see that there is a timestamp, an email, that the student checked that they were present. And this last field is one that I added in using a VLOOKUP formula. It will take what email they submitted and match it up to their corresponding name. So this is the VLOOKUP table. This is the email corresponding name. And this formula over here on the right-hand side is the formula that is going to grab that corresponding name, and the formula gets copied down automatically, so you only ever have to type it in once. So once you have your data collected, however you want to collect it, you are going to go to datastudio.google.com. That's all you have to type in, datastudio.google.com, and it will bring you to the place where all of your Data Studio reports are stored. Data Studio is completely free, totally free. It is part of your Google account. It is like Google Sites or Jamboard or all those other googly things you get. The only difference is that you can't see your reports in your Drive as of now. I think you used to be able to, but not anymore. I don't know if you're ever going to be able to see them again, but this is where you go to them right now. And then we'll go ahead and create a blank report. Now I will show you what one of my reports already looks like once we actually just get this report going. So once you click on create blank report, you are going to click on Google Sheets and then choose the sheet that has your attendance data in it. Make sure you're on the right tab and then click add, and then you will click add to report. And now that data is linked, it's going to bring in a table that's not so much how I want it. So we're going to have to tweak that a little bit to get it looking like I want it. And I will show you what I want it to look like right now. So up in my bookmark area in Chrome, I have my report that I use every day for attendance linked. So I'll just click on that link. I have it decorated because you can add a background color to your report. You can add images. You can add colors to your table. You can add colors to your filter. You can do all kind of neat things that make your report look pretty. You can put in your logo. You can just kind of fool around with all of the style features while you're making your report to see what does what. My report sorts the student submissions in descending order by the timestamp. So the most recent submissions show first. It also sorts by name as a secondary sort. However, in the fake data that I have today, for some reason I can't get it to work. But in your Data Studio report, if you want a secondary sort and you're not rigging up some fake data, it most likely will work correct for you like it does for me in my real report. And then I have a filter at the top. It's actually filtering on the timestamp, and I just changed the name from timestamp to date, but it's filtering on the timestamp. And if I just want to show the most recent day only for the day that I'm taking attendance, I can filter it so that's all I see. And that's what makes this so quick, easy, and convenient to use, because it filters in like 2 seconds to just the current date that you're taking attendance for. Then you can use an extension to split your Chrome into a couple different panes. So I have a couple extensions that do that. And then you can log into your official attendance and then just kind of move things over from there. So once you spend an hour or so creating your initial report, then the daily use just makes it worth it because attendance just takes like a couple of seconds. And I do have 3 pages on my report, and I have 3 different spreadsheets or Google Sheets that are attached to the 3 different pages, and they're all set up the same way. All right, so let's get back to creating our report so it looks kind of like the one I did, except I'm not going to waste a lot of time decorating it because then that would just be boring. You can look that up on your own if you want to make your report nice and pretty. All right, one thing I don't want these numbers on the side. You can keep them if you like, but I don't like them. So whatever object you're clicked on, and in this case, I'm clicked on the table, it's going to show the properties for that object in the right-hand side, and this number list is stored in the Style tab. So click over to Style, scroll down till you see Table Body, and I'm going to get rid of those row numbers because I don't want them. I also don't want the record count. I don't want to keep track of how many times my student filled out the form. If you want it, you can keep it, but I don't want it. So I am going to go to metric, and I'm going to get rid of that record count metric. It automatically creates it for me, but I don't want it. All right, so now that I have the stuff I don't want taken out, let's go ahead and put some stuff in. I wanted the timestamp in my report. So over where it says available fields, I'm going to grab the timestamp and I'm going to drag it over to the dimension area on the left-hand side. And you just want to drag that on top of where it says add dimension. And if you want to try to aim it where it should go, in this case I want it first, then go ahead and put it in its right position with the add dimension underneath and then drop it, and it should go to where it's supposed to go. If it doesn't go where you want it to go, that's okay. You can drag these dimensions around and reorder them up to your liking after you drag them over. I also want the name in there too of my students, so I'm going to try to get that in the right position right away, and I want it in the middle. So I'm going to get that add dimension to aim itself in the middle in between timestamp and email address, and then I'll drop. And everything went into the right spot in the first place, so I don't have to drag anything around. And you can resize your table. You can resize the columns if you want to and make them how you like them. You can change how many rows you want to see before you have to toggle over to see the next set of responses, and that's all in this first column here in your properties pane. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what it looks like. So that's okay. I got 100 responses per page, and I can toggle back through. But what I don't like about this is I don't like that it's sorting in the ascending order of date. I don't want it ascending from the date that is, the start of school until now. So I am going to change my sorting. So click on the table to get your property pane for your table up. And then we will go to our sorting options, which are kind of down towards the bottom. And I'm going to change my sort from record count. I'm going to change that to timestamp. And I'm going to make it descending. So it is the most recent date first. Now your secondary sort, you might want to have on name or on email, but for some reason my fake data doesn't like the secondary sort. I don't know what I did when I was trying to rig up the data, but something's wrong. You can see though that the sorts are in place. Timestamp has a 1 on it with a circle, and email has a 2 with a circle. That is showing you your first and secondary sort. And if we go to view, then we can see that the data is sorted, and I can toggle the little arrow next to those little sort circles, and it'll change it from descending to ascending. However, my email secondary sort isn't working, but it should work with your real data because it worked with my real data. All right, the next thing that I'm going to show you how to do is to add a filter like I had on my daily report so that I don't see all of the dates they're listed. Even though they're in descending order, it's still kind of messy because I don't have a clean cutoff of the separation of the days. So I'm going to go to insert and drop down, do a little drop down list. This is a real basic filter. You can add an advanced filter if you want to. There is an advanced filter option, but I'm just going to do a basic drop down. You can also go to add control and drop down list as well and add it in that way too, whichever works for you. One of these automatically put in name and the other automatically put in email, but you can change those to whatever you want. So I only want to sort by the date, so I'm just going to need one of these. I should say filter by date, so I'm just going to need one of these, and then I'll click on it, bring up the properties on the right hand pane for that drop down box, and I'm going to change it from email to timestamp. And so now when I view, I can see that I can filter by the actual timestamp. Now this isn't in the order that I like. I definitely don't like that. It is filtering based on the number of submissions for that date. So on the 9th and the 15th and the 17th and so on of September, I had a lot of submissions, and that's how it's sorting it. So let's get rid of that. So I am going to click on that drop down, and I'm going to get rid of the metric record count because I don't really care about how many people submitted on each date. I just want to know the actual dates. So we'll view, and when I drop it down, I only see the dates, not how many times the people submitted on that date. So it's not going to sort it by that. It's just going to keep whatever sort I already have down here on my primary sort. And then I can go ahead and just select the current date or whatever date I want. Maybe I need to double check yesterday's attendance or something like that. But now you can isolate it down to 1. And that literally is all you need to do. That is the basic setup to make this beautiful filtered dashboard of data. You can drag the link to your viewable report up to your bookmark bar area if you want to. And then the last thing I want to show you is a couple things about decorating, but I'm not going to waste too much time doing it because it's just, boring and would take a long time to do. But I'll show you that you can bring in a transparent image. And I did have an issue with this when I was trying to bring in some borders. Let me see. So when I first tried to bring in a transparent image, the background wasn't actually transparent, and it took me a while to figure out what was wrong. I thought it was just broken. But if you bring in your image that's supposed to be a transparent PNG and it's not, then just make sure you're clicked on your image, go to style, and then you can change the background to transparent. You can order your objects like you can in Google Slides and drawings, and you can send that image to the back. And like I said, make sure that you have transparent clicked on, and it'll be transparent. Instead of going in one by one into the style and changing all of the backgrounds and the font and the color of your headings, you can just pick an overall theme if you want to by clicking on the background of your report and then choosing a theme. You can also choose a theme based on one of your images. So maybe you bring in your logo and you want your theme to match your logo. So go to extract theme from image, upload from computer, pick your image, click open, and it's going to give you some choices for a theme that matches your image. And then you can select the one you like the best and apply, and it'll give you an overall theme. So there are so many ways that you can decorate and make your report look so beautiful and how you would like it. It could represent whatever your main report is about, whether it's a logo or just a more fancy title than text. All right, I think that's it, and hopefully that helps you get a basic report going. There is so much more to Data Studio that I could talk about, but I didn't want this video to be too long. If you have any more questions, you can email me or find me on Twitter and let me know, and I will help you figure out all the other things that I did in my report that I showed you that I use each and every day.